Welcome back, everybody. I'm Bob Marone along with Joe Logano for Westchester Talk Radio. We are live at the Making Strides event for the American Cancer Society's support of breast cancer. We're produced today. We are, of course, Westchester Talk Radio. We're produced by Shaw Creative and made possible by Robeson, ENT Allergy Associates, and Hightower of Westchester today. And our next guest, and we're really happy to have him given the topic today. His name is Alan Steiner, and he is with the Cancer Action Network here in Westchester, Putnam, and perhaps it's broader, but he'll tell us that. Again, Alan Steiner, thank you for coming on Westchester Talk Radio.
Happy to be here.
Now, tell us about what the Cancer Action Network does.
It's the affiliated lobbying organization of the American Cancer Society. So we lobby for changes in legislation, and like the example that comes immediately to mind is it used to be if you wanted to have a colonoscopy, that would be covered by Medicare. But if they discovered polyps, that wasn't covered. So some people knew that and they wouldn't go have a colonoscopy because they were afraid it would cost them money. So eventually, after lobbying for like 3 or 4 years, we eventually got Congress to change that and make it so that's also covered.
That's a major breakthrough, a very perfect example of the kinds of things that you guys do. All right, you and I are of a certain age, so we remember the great tobacco wars, if you will. Yes. You must have been at the forefront of that.
Yeah, I was, except I was a smoker.
As was I.
Yeah, and I actually smoked for a couple of years after I watched my father die of lung cancer and emphysema. So people that say it's easy to quit, it's not easy to quit. And people need a lot of support because it's clear that, you know, it's a major cause of lung cancer and other problems.
Were you surprised when they had those hearings in Congress, et cetera, and at first the tobacco companies lied, and then it came out that they had actually been putting extra nicotine into the cigarettes? That had to be, was that a moment for you to get angry?
Yes, and the other thing was, at colleges, like handing out cigarettes on street corners to try to get young people, you know, addicted.
You know, I remember that. I remember when I was working down on Wall Street back when I was in college at night, and they were giving out those free little sample-size cigarettes. Was there an epiphany? Did you have a moment in your family that made you do this kind of very important work?
Well, my sister had breast cancer. And she had a very good outcome and lived into her 70s, and it was, you know, a good outcome. I'm actually a Vietnam veteran.
Thank you, sir.
And I got prostate cancer, and they diagnosed it as being caused by my exposure to Agent Orange in Vietnam. So, you know, I mean, it's hardly a family that isn't touched by cancer.
But that's what moved you to join this organization?
That's right. That's right.
Now, what was your profession, or what is your profession otherwise?
I'm a lawyer. I'm a retired lawyer and a retired judge, and I chair the board of an organization that runs federally qualified community health centers. That's a program that started during the War on Poverty, where anybody, regardless of their ability to pay, can go to community health centers, and there's about 1,200 of them in the country, and they serve 30 million people.
Wow.
And it's supported by the federal government. We have broad bipartisan support. So, like my health center, it has a sliding scale fee. If you don't have Medicare, Medicaid, or any kind of health insurance, you pay a sliding scale. Our minimum sliding scale is $15.
Again, the name of that organization?
It's called Sun River Health. It's one of the largest community health centers in the country.
Wow, that's amazing. What's at the forefront of your fight today in terms of making sure that the proper insurance payments and other things are being done that aren't being done, sir?
I think, like always, early detection has been one of our key things, because they always say if you can keep people healthy, even if you got a heart of stone, if you can keep people healthy, it costs less money. So.
Yes.
Yeah, so you'd think everybody would want to do that, but and so, some of our things are increasing access to breast cancer screening for people, and the other is this biomarker thing where they can check if you think you have cancer, you can have your biomarkers checked and detect what you might have more of a propensity for.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been the board chair of my health center for 40 years.
Wow.
And I've been involved with ACS for, I think, 15 or 20 years. Actually, the woman that used to be head of the office in White Plains was a good friend of mine, and she actually got us a little grant for my health center. So she called me up one day and says, Alan, I think it's time.
Alan, where is your health center? I just want to go back to that for a bit before we wrap.
Our first health center was in Peekskill, New York, 1965. We now have 42 health centers.
42. Are they all under the same name?
Yes.
So again?
Sun River Health.
Sun River Health. Is there a website for that? I'd like to recommend.
Absolutely. And so we have 42 health centers on the Hudson River up as far as Hudson, and then every borough of New York City and Nassau and Suffolk County.
This is amazing. We need to get the word out for that, and we will help you do that.
I call it the best kept secret in healthcare. And we're supported by the federal government, and it's legal for us to treat people that are undocumented.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right. What's the website for that?
It's sunriver.org.
Sunriver.org. Okay, we're gonna do that another day, even longer. I want to just go back to fightcancer.org, New York, which you've been working on for so long. Any final words before we let you go? How can people help you? How can people get access to you?
I think if they know anybody that has a problem with cancer, the American Cancer Society is a more than willing participant and to get you, into care, to provide you with support, to provide you with transportation. There's just a lot of services. In fact, the American Cancer Society is the largest non-governmental fundraiser for cancer research. And this event here today is the third largest one in the country. The first one is Jones Beach.
Yes.
Second one is Central Park, and then here. And we've been coming here for years.
Well, you're a very special man, Alan Steiner. And again, I my last question, I want to go back to this. What made you get so involved? Was it your own experience with cancer, or just, it's a part of your heart?
Well, I started my legal career as a poverty lawyer, and through that connection, I got connected to the poverty community in Peekskill when they were just trying to start their health center in 1965. So it's really been one of my life callings to.
Clearly. One more time, this website is easy, fightcancer.org, New York, of course, the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, which you're involved with. And one more time, those facilities, the website.
Sunriver.org.
Because you're right, that's a very well-kept secret that I intend to change. Mr. Steiner, thank you so very, very much. Have a great day. All right, folks, we'll be right back with our next guest after these words.